Hi fam, Random Chick here, and today I wanted to, sorry about my camera, I've got a little tripod thing going on and it ain't working good today, but I wanted to tell a story about last 4th of, well, it wasn't last 4th of July, but it was like about 2 or 3 years ago when we was setting off fireworks at our house. So here's the thing, where we live, our county, um, pretty much they have it to where you can set off fireworks up until 10 p.m. So I mean that's plenty enough time to set them off. You have maybe 2 or 3 hours at the most to set them off. And well, I keep wanting to say last year, but it was a couple of years back. Me and my boyfriend was setting off fireworks. Okay, well, you probably don't know that my boyfriend is handicapped 90% of the time. Um, you know, he would probably have to have a wheelchair. He can walk, but very limited. So if you can imagine, and my boyfriend is a big guy. You know, he's not small. So if you can imagine trying to push a wheelchair outside across gravel with a big guy in it, and it's a big wheelchair on top of that. It is fucking hell to get that man out there and get him back in. Okay, so we have this neighbor, right? And a couple of years back, we did not have a wheelchair, and um, he was in he was in like a little bit more better health than what he is now. And so anyhow, we get out there. You know, we've got all these fireworks. I think we had spent close to $100 or maybe more on fireworks. Well, anyways, that 4th of July, to say the least, we did not get to set off hardly any of them fireworks. And this is why. We have a neighbor, and so she comes out and she's like, y'all just need to stop setting off fireworks and stuff like that because I've got work in the morning. Okay, and it's not even 10 o'clock yet. So she's talking about she's going to call the law and all this other crap. So we're like, call the law. Let the law tell you that this county is allowed to set them off until 10 p.m. And do I mind? Let me tell you, she comes out there at 7 o'clock at night. Okay, it's not even dark yet. I mean, nowhere near dark. Well, it is near dark, but it's not even dark yet. Not dark enough to see the pretty fireworks anyway. So, as she's babbling on, blah, 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 and she could see that my boyfriend is disabled. My boyfriend has a visible disability. You can see that he is disabled. Okay, so pretty much she can see that he's disabled. She doesn't give a fuck. Like, she does not care. She doesn't stop to think, okay, this man does not get to see stuff like this. This man cannot get around like a normal person. Maybe I should lay off. And then, not to mention, she acts like we're the only ones on the block that is setting off fireworks. Lady, it's the 4th of fucking July, okay? The 4th. It's one of the biggest holidays. It is not my problem that you decided to work on the 4th. You should have took off on the 4th. This is America. People's going to set off fireworks. People's going to drink. People's going to party. They're going to do, barbecue, whatever. It's going to happen. And I'm not saying this out of disrespect for nobody that works, because I know, pretty much how hard working is and what it takes to get out here and make a living and stuff like that. But I mean, come on, the 4th of July, and you're going to come out at 7 o'clock at night and tell me, who just spent over $100, that we're not allowed to shoot off fireworks because you got work in the morning? That's not my problem. Okay, for one, your family and your husband and people like that can get out every day. They can go see the world. They can walk. They can shoot off fireworks. They can do all this glory shit that my old man don't get to see. Okay, 90% of the time, my old man is sitting in a truck. If we go anywhere, I'm talking about sightseeing or anything, he is stuck in the truck. So the one day that he is, that I'm like, hey babe, and it's hard to convince him to get out and stuff like that because, he does have a disability and he is ashamed of it part time. So it's hard to convince him to get out and do anything, whether it be just in the front yard. So I finally convinced him, hey, let's go out, let's shoot fireworks together, let's do something for a memory. And then here this girl comes, she don't even don't even think, hey, So now that my boyfriend, so she pretty much ambushes us and tells us, hey, you can't be shooting these fireworks. I've got work in the morning, blah blah blah, like a selfish bitch. So the moral of this story is I'm not taking this year, okay? I don't care if you've got to go into work at 4 a.m. in the morning. You know, if just like I said, my boyfriend's health has decreased a ton. And when I say a ton, like I told you, 90% he's going to be in a wheelchair 90% of the time. And if I have to wheel him out there in that wheelchair in order for him to see this, and then, you know, work my ass off to get him back inside the house safely, then I don't want to hear anything from our damn neighbor unless she's willing to help me get him back in the house. Because, okay, it's just so messed up how people take so much stuff for granted. Like, like she could get out, she can walk, she can talk, she can do all this, her family can do all this, and everything like that. But when it comes to my boyfriend, he cannot physically do half of the shit other people can do. And yet you want to criticize us and tell us that we cannot shoot off fireworks. And it's not even 10 p.m. yet. I mean, she just, like, attacked us. Like, I've got work in the morning. Blah, blah, blah. Well, it's not my fault, chick, that you decided to work on the biggest holiday, or one of the biggest holidays of the fucking year. That's not my fault. So, if I'm sitting here and I'm abiding by the law, and, I'm pretty much abiding by the law, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, I'm not setting them off at after 10 p.m. or really late. I'm out there at 7 p.m. and you come out and tell me some shit like this. No, you tell me some shit like this and I'm not going to threaten to call the law. I am going to call the law this time. Yeah. So when you come out there and you tell me, hey, with my boyfriend sitting in a wheelchair, I'm going to tell you, listen, lady, unless you're going to help me move this man back inside my house, then I don't want to hear shit from you. Get the fuck off of our lawn. That's what I'm going to tell you. Because that is, like, bullshit. Like, I mean, who does that? Who does that to a crippled, disabled guy? Do you think that I'm going to walk up to somebody's driveway and there's a crippled guy that is working his ass off and sweating to set off fireworks? And when I say working his ass off, I'm talking about, like, like, if I was sitting back watching a crippled man who could barely walk try and set off fireworks, him and his girlfriend, do you think I'm gonna have enough nerve to walk up to him and say, hey sir, you cannot set them off with it only being 7 o'clock at night? I wouldn't even say it after 10 p.m. There ain't no fucking way that I would walk up to a crippled man and say, hey, you cannot do this. I don't care if it was 10 or 12 p.m. at night. Have some respect for people that is disabled and people that don't get to see that shit every fucking day. You can go out, you can see things every day. You could go out, party, have fun with friends and stuff like that, come back home and say your life sucks. But you don't know suck until something as simple as walking is taken from you. So with that being said, I hope that everyone has a happy 4th of July. If you have disabled people in your family, I hope that they also have a happy 4th of July. And, if you have neighbors that is rude like she is, I am very, very sorry. So, like, subscribe, comment. Thank you for watching. Have a blessed day. I hope you enjoyed my story. And yeah, subscribe. Thanks.